Well, good morning, everyone. Jerry here. Hey, it is question and answer time for July 4th. let me uh, let me just check to make sure that I am live streaming. And let's see here. Live. Bear with me for a second. Well, it says I'm live. Well, good morning, everyone. Jerry here. Hey, it is question and answer time for July 4th. let me Okay. And on the right hand side, you can use the chat feature to ask me questions. Okay, back here. Sorry for the delay there. Again, I am the producer, I am the director, I am the host, I'm the technical person, and so it takes me a little bit of this and a little bit of that to make sure everything is running right. And again, it is 8 a.m. Yeah, July 4th, 2026. Happy Independence Day to all you out there. Anyhow, you know what the drill is here. This is the time that you get to ask me questions, and I'll do my best to give you a good answer. Again, we like to keep questions sort of focused on cruising in French Polynesia, places to stay for a pre or post cruise, and general questions about the islands. So if you got a question there, about any of that stuff that fits in there, use the chat feature here, right hand side of the YouTube channel here, and under chat, go ahead and ask a question, and I'll do my best to answer it. I am monitoring it right now, so if I look over at my other screen here, you know what I'm doing. I'm seeing if there's any questions. But anyhow, let's give it a few minutes here and sort of see if we get any questions or whatever. And it says there's people watching, so hopefully we'll get a question or two this morning. In the meantime, let me just say, since the last time I was on here, the beginning of June, because I do this on the first Saturday of every month, is question and answer time at 8 a.m. Pacific time here on my YouTube channel. Let's see, I've taken off about another 8 or 10 pounds. I'm it's something just to talk about while we're waiting for questions. I am doing the Mounjaro diet, the GLP-1 diet, and I've been doing it now for 4.5 months, and I've taken off about 40 pounds. So I'm feeling better. I look at my face though, and I got a little bit more defined, a little bit more, the turkey gobble here and everything else. But I'm feeling great. My blood pressure's great. My A1C is great. I feel so much better. I have more energy. My knees are happier. but hey, it's been going well for me. So anyhow, any questions? No, I don't see any questions. Please feel free to ask me questions. And again, who knows what to expect today, seeing it is July 4th. Everyone's zipping around and visiting family, friends. So who knows if we're going to even have anyone watching. Well, no, we have. I have somebody watching. But who knows if we're going to have any questions today. So give it another 2 minutes here. If not, then I'll do a little bit of presentation here. And for you, you know that I take groups to French Polynesia a couple of times a year. And usually it's aboard like the Paul Gauguin or one of the smaller ships that are stationed full time there in French Polynesia. But I've been there 35 times, 23 by a small cruise ship. So there's not too much that you can ask me that I probably don't have a good answer for you. No questions yet. Okay, so please feel free. Ask away, and I'll do my best to answer it. Uh, we love the islands. We've been on 16 different islands, my better half and me. And by the way, this is my better half right here, my lovely Zell. And by the way, this picture right here, this is a few years ago. This was taken on the island of Wahine. And this is my group here, and we're all loaded up. I think there's 24 of us on there, 23 maybe. And we're zipping through the lagoon of Wahine, which is a beautiful lagoon. But you can see we're all having a good time here on the big canoe. So, one of the things sort of separates me from booking just with anybody is generally speaking, the majority of the time, you get me not only to plan your trip and get you a great group price and everything else if you come with me during a group, but I plan a lot of the excursions, the private excursions, which are far better than typically most of the stuff you're going to get on the ship, and obviously for a whole lot less money. So these are tried and true vendors I use, and you can see that everyone's having a great time and so forth. But so not only do you get me to help you plan your trip of a lifetime, and hopefully with one of my groups, but then 90% of the time, or let's just say the vast majority of the time, I go with my group. So I'm on the ship with you too. So if you get lost or you need to be pushed in the right direction or something, I'm there to help you. Or if there is a problem that comes up, I'm there to solve it. So I generally go with my groups, which is one of the things that's very unique. Most travel agents don't go with their people and so forth. I do. So with that being said, no questions yet. I'm still looking down there. And what else? Hmm, hmm. Let's see. Again, I always recommend people to go on one of the smaller ships that are stationed there, usually full time in French Polynesia, and not some of the other cruise lines now that are coming in are spending a great amount of time there. At least half the year, they have a ship parked there in French Polynesia, and they're doing a fine job too. French Polynesia is not an inexpensive place to go, but I've traveled the world. I've been around the world 35 different times. And I got to tell you, not that I've been to every place, obviously, but it's hard to beat French Polynesia. It's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. The people are lovely and sincere. It's the reason I keep going back time in and time, every year, several times a year. At least last year, 3 times last year. This year only once. Next year will be twice. But you get the idea. I average about 2 trips a year for my groups. Now, I can book you on any date that you want, but I take groups a couple of times a year, and obviously I get a better price for that, and then I'm there to help you out. The other thing, too, is when you do book through me, it doesn't matter if it's with one of my groups or if you're asking me to do it FIT, meaning it as an individual booking. Not only again do you get me to help you, even if it's a individual booking, but I let you into my private blogs. The only way to access my private blogs is when you book through me, and you get the benefit again of my 35 trips to French Polynesia. So we have no questions yet. Let me reboot this just to make sure we're not missing anything here. Sometimes I have to reboot here to update the chat feature. Nope, no questions. Okay, nothing yet. So let's continue on here. We'll just slowly go through some pictures here and so forth. Again, this is taken on the island of Wahine. This is, again, the island of Wahine. This is my group again. We're on our big, we call it the Big Cat. And by the way, this particular vendor, again, same same owner on both these boats. Depending on the size of my group, will dictate which what boat we take. In this particular case, there was about 30 of us, and I had enough that we took the Twin Cat here, which actually has a bathroom on board, which is very rare, probably the finest vendor boat here in Wahine. But this is the drift snorkel on the north side of the island, or I should say the east side of the island, and everyone's having a great time with my group and so forth. And this is an easy snorkel here. So if you are new to snorkeling or a novice, this is a great one to get your feet wet right from the beginning, where you can go there and hop in the water and just float, and it will take you through the drift, and the boat will pick you up on the other side when we get down there about 300 yards. So anyhow, lovely, lovely, lovely. This is taken on the island of Wahine again. This is a little beach over by Hana Iti. I always like taking my group here. Again, a different boat because it was a smaller group. But we're eating some munchies over here and so forth. But look at that. Two gals here in my group drinking a Hainano beer. But does that look like fun? Look at that. Very private and so forth. And off the beaten track a little bit. Just lovely. Great island for the first place you stop on. Most of the Paul Gauguin cruises, usually the first day, usually, not always, is Wahine. No questions yet. I'm looking. And again, this is on the island of Wahine again. This is another snorkeling location in a little deeper water here with bigger fish. And in the background is the islands of Raiatea and Taha. But look at that. Everyone's having a great time. Look at that. Great snorkeling here at this particular location. Wahine is not generally known for its great snorkeling, but in this case, this is actually a pretty good spot right here. And here we are on the island of Taha, and we are feeding the fish. There's another drift snorkel we were on and so forth, and you see right here, what is that right there? It's a banana. The fish like the bananas. Usually, you know, for years we could take some bread with us, and which is, you know, white bread's not the healthiest for us. It's probably not the healthiest for the fish. But the bananas they love, and I know it's probably a lot healthier for them than bread. So we feed them bananas now, and they love it. That's me back there. Look at that. No questions yet. We'll keep going here. More people are watching. I noticed that. And again, here we are feeding the fish bananas. Everyone has a smile on their face. Everyone's having a great time. That's one thing I notice in my groups. There's 95% of the people just have a fabulous time, and they get to experience French Polynesia like very few people get to do, because again, I know the lay of the land. But look at that. Look at those. Look at that. Just feeding the banana there. And again, this is one of the drift locations on the island of Taha. And by the way, just so you know, because usually when you go on a cruise, especially when you get like on some of the smaller ships there, you know, they're usually, let's put this people, let's just say they are seasoned people, okay? Meaning they got gray hair like I do. But in this particular case, this individual right here, 75 years old, and he's having a wonderful time. Look at that. So, hey, if you are up there in years, come along with us. You know, I know where to go. I know the good vendors. You're going to have one heck of a time. It's safe, and come along. We'll and be spoiled. No questions yet. Remember, if you got a question, ask me a question on the chat feature here on YouTube. It's usually sitting on the right-hand side or just under the screen. Again, this is on the island of Taha. Look at the live coral here. It's beautiful, just beautiful. And this is one of the stops. We have 2 drift snorkel locations on Taha. This is the first one that we stop at here. Just gorgeous. Beautiful colors. And again, same location. The first drift snorkel location, and this young boy has a a water scooter. We'll call it that, a water scooter. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to bond with your kids as they're growing up. They're going to experience something long after you've gone to the compost pile. They will have memories of when you took them to French Polynesia. It's that stunning. It will stick in their minds for the rest of their lives. And this is where we stopped for lunch on the island of Taha. This is a little motu here. This is my group, and we're just having a wonderful barbecue lunch there. Whew, I gotta hang on here. I'm gonna hide. Sorry about that. I had to blow my nose. Anyhow, this is the place we stopped for a barbecue Polynesian lunch with my group. Just a lovely spot. Beautiful. And again, look at the fish. This is at the second drift snorkel location here. And my lovely Zell, because she doesn't like necessarily doing what I do. And I hop in the water and take advantage of zipping through all the coral and things like that on the drift. But she likes sitting at the end where everyone ends up. And she'll sit down there with her camera, her underwater camera, and she's in 3.5 feet of water, and she stands there and feeds the fish. And she gets beautiful pictures like this. So for you that go, no, I cannot do a drift snorkel, I'd be too afraid. You can do like what my lovely Zell does, especially if you come along with our groups, because you can go hang out with her. And she'll take you to places like this here, and where you're virtually, again, in 3.5 feet of water with little fish food in your hand, in your camera, and you get to take pictures like this. Look at that. Lovely. No questions yet. Again, this is taken at the second drift snorkel location. Look at the live fish there. And look at the setting. Look at the setting. This is what people dream about, what French Polynesia is like. Look at that. The palm tree swaying, the colorful fish, the beautiful coral. And by the way, let's see if I got a picture of it here. In the background here will be Bora Bora, 13 miles away. There we go. Same location. This is taken by Zell again, standing in 3.5 feet of water. You can see snorkels out here. This is the group. And in the background there is Mount Otumanu on Bora Bora, 13 miles away. Does that look like what you would sort of imagine in your dreams of what French Polynesia would be like if you went? Then come along with us. I'll take you here. Look at that. Everyone has a lovely time here. Just the classic view of French Polynesia at its finest. This is a group again. We just finished zipping around. I think this is a smaller group. And there's me right there. And here's the Paul Gauguin right here. So virtually we're that close. Our vendor comes and picks us up and takes us out there. And we had a wonderful time doing the drift snorkels and everything else. But you don't have to walk far to even get to my vendor's boat. It's right there. Beautiful. Looks like everyone had a wonderful time. Look at the smiles again on their faces. And now we're at Motu Mahana on the island of Taha. And, the Paul Gauguin is famous for their Polynesian hosts called Gauguins and Gaugans. And they're there to greet us as we're coming up to the pier here for Motu Mahana. The Paul Gauguin obviously sits in the background down there. But what a classic picture, Like, just so lovely. And they're just so lovely people, The Polynesian hosts are wonderful because you can sit down with them and have a conversation and ask them anything about French Polynesia too, and get it firsthand from somebody that lives there. No questions yet. Remember, if you have a question, use the feature on the the right-hand side or below the screen for the chat feature. And let me reboot this again just to make sure I'm not missing anyone or any chats here. Sometimes I have to reboot it. And let's see. Nothing yet. Okay, let's keep going. By the way, these are all pictures on the itinerary I will be doing in May of 2027, which is a 11-night run through the Society Islands and the Tuamotus of Fakarava and Rangiroa. And again, plenty of room in my group still. A fantastic price. By the way, for you singles, there's already 4 single ladies signed up again for this particular group cruise. And by the way, I pick on dates where there is no single supplement fees for Category E and for C. And so if you are by yourself and you want to have a whole room to yourself, come along with me because you're going to get a whole cabin all to yourself and with no single supplement fees. And you can enjoy the whole bed there to yourself and everything else. But the fact is, you get to go, and you know, like in this particular case, there are other single people, so you would not be the lone single person. You have dinner mates and so forth like that, which makes it a lot more fun when you know there's other people there that are basically in the same situation you are. Again, that would be May 29th of next year for this particular group cruise. This is taken at the private Motu on Bora Bora for the Paul Gauguin. And look at that. What a view of Mount Otumano there, the classic viewpoint for all the old brochures that you would see. If you've got some age to you, you know, back in the day before the internet, you went to a travel agency and they would hand you a brochure of French Polynesia. And typically, it was a picture taken at Bora Bora on the front page, and usually Mount Otumano. But this was taken from that classic angle. Look at that. And a nice shallow water here. You can just plop in the water with your Hainano beer and just enjoy the scenery. This is Motu Mahana. And this is the private, again, Motu for the Paul Gauguin. And they got a bar, barbecue here, lots of shade for you, lots of loungers and everything else. It doesn't get much better than this. This is a day that you get to go and be pampered. Everything's taken care of. All you got to do is hop on the tender and go over there. And when you're done for the day, hop on the tender and go back. In the meantime, it's pamper time. Look at that. Just beautiful. And there's the barbecue going. Got a little bit of everything. Chicken, sausages, hamburgers, steak. Occasionally there's some fresh mahi-mahi. But look at the guys there. They're just a great group of guys. You know, that's one thing I got to tell you about the Paul Gauguin again, and why I really love this particular ship is, you know, a crew of about 200 on the ship. She'll hold 330 people, but a crew of about 200. And about 65%, or about 2/3 of them, have been on this ship for more than 10 years. That's telling you something. They love the cruise line, and the cruise line loves them. But they become almost like second family. When I see them every time I hop on the ship, they know my name, I know their name. We take pictures, you know. It's just a lovely time. But there's a seasoned bunch of people. When you're there, by the second morning, they're going to know your name, and they're knowing exactly what your favorite drink is and everything else. But just a lovely group of guys. And gals, too. There's girls working on the ship, obviously, of course. And this is taken on Motu Mahana again. And you can get yourself your fufu drink, get your Mai Tai or whatever you want in a coconut. And look at that, the ship's in the background right there. People aren't waiting in the water. You notice how nice and shallow it is here. Again, you can walk around in the water at a lot of places and just walk along, plop in there to cool off a little bit, come back in and stroll along a little bit more. Look at that. I want to be there right now. And Motu Mahana again. They always have the kayaks and the toys to everyone having fun. This is part of my group here, just having a wonderful time in the water. And this is the famous floating bar that they come to you with the bar. So if you're out here, the bar comes to you, and they'll refill whatever you want or give you another nice cold beer. But you don't even have to go out of the water to get a new drink. This is taken from Taha again as we're leaving the lagoon, cruising through it on the Paul Gauguin. And that is Mount Otumano and Bora Bora, 13 miles away. And yes, that is a real rainbow. I just happened to catch it at the right time I was there. Everything you see here is 99% of the time are pictures or video that I've taken myself. So I've actually been there and I've experienced it. So I like sharing what I have firsthand knowledge about. No questions yet? Remember, if you got a question, use the chat feature here, and I'll be more than happy to try to give you my answer. This is taken on Bora Bora up in one of the 3 locations where the cannons are. And hey, yes, that's a marketing picture for the Paul Gauguin I took. Look at that. Look at the blue hues of the Laguna Bora Bora. These are the old World War II cannons here that you can go up to on a 4x4 Jeep. And again, look at that. And the Paul Gauguin sitting in the background back there. By the way, right over here would be the, you can just see a tip of it here, is the Pearl Beach Resort. And this is taken on Bora Bora. And we're in with the puppies. We call them puppies. They're the rays, but we do call them puppies. And it's so fun to get these pictures here. This is the sons of one of our hosts. His name's Nui. But look at this. Look at the expression on her face. She's going to just tap and touch it. And by the way, the rays here, when they see one that still has a on their tail that it has a barb, they clip the barb, so you don't have to worry about the barb. And so it's very safe to get in here with the rays. We're always usually in about 3.5 feet of water. Again, you don't even have to be a swimmer to get in there and enjoy getting a picture taken with the puppies. And this is on Bora Bora again. There's Nui again. And this is the location where I take my people, my group, for a barbecue lunch again. And this is our shade cover. We have that whole area to ourselves and everything else, just my group. And again, they spoil us rotten. This Polynesian family that I use over there, just lovely people. I've used them for 2 decades now. And they take good care of us, take us to a beautiful place, feed us well, spoil us rotten. And at the end of the particular excursion that this family did everything they possibly could to make sure everybody in our group had a wonderful time. You just know, you can tell. And so we're spoiled. Look at that. No questions yet. Feel free to ask me questions. Use the chat feature. And here's Fred, the eel. I call all the eels Fred. But look at the chompers on this guy. You wouldn't want to try to feed him. But yes, we got nice and close to him and things like that. Usually the vendors will come in and to bring them out and feed them and so forth in front of us, which I think I have a picture of here I'll share. But this is Fred, the eel. And here we are back on the puppies again. There's Nui they're so helpful too. He's taking pictures of this couple. But again, the fun part of the story here is look at the expression on her face. Just so much fun to catch these moments like this. And here we are zipping along. Oh, hey, this one has my photo logo on it. Mount Otumano here in Bora Bora. My group here, we're zipping along the lagoon and so forth like that. Just having a lovely time. Just a lovely time. Let's see, let me reboot this one more time to make sure I'm not missing anything here. I want to make sure I answer questions. No questions yet, but more people watching. Come on, people, ask a question. Be brave. Again, there's not much that you can ask that I don't have an answer for. But anyhow, back to the presentation here. Mount Otumano there on Bora Bora. Don't you want to be there right now enjoying this moment like this? Come along with us. This is our location again on Bora Bora for our barbecue lunch. These are the two boats my vendor had here. And there was probably, what, about 25 of us in this particular group. This one holds 16 and this one holds 10. So I know there's about 25 of us in this particular group. But look at the view again here at Mount Otumano. Just a lovely setting again on the island of Bora Bora. Here's Papa, and he's feeding Fred. And here's some of my group up here with their GoPros, and everyone else is taking pictures of Papa. By the way, Papa here, he's the patriarch of the family I use, my Polynesian family, to take us out. He's 69 years old, and he still goes down there to feed Fred, swims around. He's a hoot, what a wonderful man, and he plays a really good ukulele. Look at that. Lovely. This is on the island of Whakarava, and this is where we're going to be doing our group excursion. This is for next May of next year, May 29th of 2027. And again, we will be doing a barbecue lunch right here. And this is one of the lovely places, only about 4 miles from where the ship anchors. Usually we go out to the Blue Lagoon, but it's a little bit of a rough ride. So I found another alternative place that we can enjoy this beautiful, here's some nice coral in here, and to play on the palm tree. And well, like I say, we will do a barbecue lunch right here. But look at that setting. Beautiful, beautiful. Same setting here. This is from that location. Here's the ship in the background about 4 miles away. But does that look like fun? Does that look like a place you'd want to spend the afternoon at? I'm ready. Okay. But yes, just absolutely gorgeous. So come along. And again, the nice thing about this is you can go by my vendor's boat or my vendor's van, and he'll take us over there. So if you don't want to be moving around on the boat a little bit, you can hop in the van and take you back over to this location where you can enjoy the beach barbecue. Look at that. No questions yet. Okay. And this is on the island of Rangiroa. And we are heading out in my vendor's boat to the Blue Lagoon. And I haven't done this one for about 10 years. Usually I take everyone to the Green Lagoon. But in this particular case, because we'll be going back to the Green Lagoon later on in 2027, in November of 2027, I have another group cruise going out, and we'll go to the Green Lagoon. So in this particular case, I wanted to go to the Blue Lagoon. I try to mix it up a little bit now. So if you go with me again, and I'm going to tell you, at least half the people that'll be in a group have come with me before. And so they know I have a great excursions. I take good care of everyone and help them plan everything out accordingly. But I also like to move the excursions around a little bit. So if you come with me again, you can experience something a little bit different. In this case, we're heading out to the Blue Lagoon, which I think is right here. Yep, there's the Blue Lagoon on the island of Rangiroa. And we always go to this right here, this Motu right here, have a beach barbecue again. You can walk around the Blue Lagoon. Look at that. Stunning, absolute stunning. And so we'll zip out here to this particular Motu. Lots of shade again, and a lovely vendor again that feeds us. And we always have a little mini bar, meaning water, soda, Hinano beer, and rum punch. So everything's tossed in my excursions. You don't have to buy anything. Look at that. And this is the setting here. Let me see if I can make this picture a little bit bigger here. This is the actual taken from the location where we have our barbecue here on the island of Rangiroa at the Blue Lagoon. That's the Blue Lagoon in the background here, and look at that, absolutely stunning. This is taken at the Blue Lagoon again on Rangiroa. This is the backside. We're looking out over the Blue Lagoon part. Look at that, just stunning. Again, Notice you can just walk around in the water, plop down, and cool off a little bit if you want. Just a lovely spot. So we got a lot of people signed up for this, but again, I still have more room in my group. So again, a great group price, which is typically about 20% less than you're going to see online. And of course, I throw some onboard credit in there. I'll go through it here in a little bit, but you can't go wrong going with me on the group cruises. This is at the aquarium on Rangiroa. I always finish up our group excursion on Rangiroa at the aquarium, where the ship's in the background here, my vendor's boat's right here, and we hop in the water, and there'll virtually be thousands of fish, thousands. And some eels, maybe a few small reef sharks, and things like that, but thousands of fish. Look at that. This is taken on the island of Moorea. Moorea is always the last island on this particular itinerary before we head back over to Tahiti. This is inside Opunupu Bay here. Look at that. The lovely Paul Gauguin sitting there. So graceful. And look at the rough mountains. That's one thing I love about Moorea is the roughness of the island. Very rugged. And again, you always think that King Kong is going to jump out from around one of these mountain peaks and things like that. But just stunning. Moorea is a stunning island. Again, looking out over the peaks here. Look at that. Just lovely. Moorea is a lovely island. Great place for pre or post cruises too, because it's so accessible from Tahiti. Virtually a 30-minute run over on the ferry between Tahiti and Moorea. So it's a wonderful spot. A lot less money than going out to Bora Bora for a comparable price accommodation and so forth like that. Moorea is a gem of a place to take advantage of. We are on top of Magic Mountain on the island of Moorea again, part of my group here. And yes, I took this with my drone. I have my controller right here. And look at that. This is the Hilton Resort right here on Moorea in the background. Usually the ship is sitting right here, but the ship had moved over to Cook's Bay because there's going to be a bigger ship coming in later in the day. Which is very cool that our captains have the ability just to say, let's go find a place all to ourselves and move the ship. So look at that. Again, this is on top of Magic Mountain. Again, in my vendor on a 4x4, and they'll run us up there to the top of Magic Mountain. No questions yet. And again, this is taken from the Belvedere up on Magic Mountain. That's me again. Yes, I took this with my drone. And I am licensed to fly in French Polynesia, just so you know. Because, drones are a little bit of a no-no in French Polynesia, unless if you're actually licensed. But I am licensed to fly here. Look at that. Cook's Bay, Opunupu Bay. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful view. And one thing we always finish up, we have a cocktail party on board the Paul Gauguin when we're in Moorea. Excuse me. Look at that. And everyone get their picture here with the captain while you got your champagne in your hand. Look at that captain. He's not wearing the captain suit. He's wearing a nice print, Polynesian print shirt and so forth like that. But I always make sure you can come there and have this beautiful cocktail party while we're on the ship. Let me wet my whistle here so I don't cough again or as much. But everyone gets to get all their pictures again with the captain and everything else in the beautiful setting of the bay. Excuse me. This is what they call the mamas, and of course she's a young mother, I guess. But when we're having Polynesian night on the Paul Gauguin, they are making all these leis and flower hats for everyone. So you can have a lei or a hat while you're having your Polynesian dinner for Polynesian night. But look at that. They're making all these beautiful leis. Beautiful. And this is a beautiful, beautiful sunset on the island of Moorea. These are the twin motus over here that up on the upper left hand, the west side of the island, upper west side of the island. But everyone comes up here to take in the sunset. Look at that, beautiful, just beautiful. And here we are in Cook's Bay. We're in Cook's Bay here, and that's the beautiful Paul Gauguin there looking over in Cook's Bay. Look at that. Just beautiful. Stunning, stunning location. Let me reboot this one more time to make sure I'm not missing any questions here. No questions yet? Okay. We'll keep going here. And again, here's the Gauguin and the Gauguins. And this is the welfare auction chart. Every time there's a cruise, there's a new chart here. And all this artwork that's on here is done by one of the crew members on board. But this is an auction. So you buy raffle tickets. And if your raffle ticket is the one drawn, you get this lovely, lovely chart to take home and put on your wall. Just beautiful. But anyhow, the welfare auction chart here is used when there's an emergency or something for one of the crew members. They'll say they have a family emergency or something. But a lot of the crew here, these are the Gauguin and Gauguins, I get that. But a lot of times, like the rest of the crew that you're going to be dealing with in the dining room and things like that, they're all from the Philippines. And so if they have a family emergency or something, the money can come out of the crew welfare fund to buy the plane ticket for them to go home for that family emergency. Or again, sometimes it's used for them to have a party. But anyhow, it's a good thing to buy the raffle tickets. Seeing this is always on the last night, whatever money I have left from my onboard credit, because remember, you go with me, you're going to get some onboard credit. So if I have, 20 bucks left in my onboard credit, I buy 2 tickets because usually they're $10 a piece. If I got 100 bucks, I buy 100 tickets. You get the idea. But it's a good thing to buy these raffle tickets because you know it's going for a good cause. And again, you get a chance to get this beautiful chart. All right, here's the flyer for May 29th of 2027. And here's the itinerary right here. And of course, there's me and my lovely Zelle. That's how to contact me. Either call me or you can email me. Here's what's included. And you notice everything is included. Again, no single supplement fees. And take advantage of it. And then again, if you are a loyalty member already at PG, your loyalty discount will come off of my great group pricing, which is fantastic. Look at that. And of course, some onboard credit. And again, no single supplement fees. Take advantage of that. Lovely, just lovely. Oh, by the way, right here, if you're Canadian, meaning you live in Canada more than 6 months out of the year, you get another 5% off too, because I negotiated a little better deal because the Canadian dollar has sort of gotten trampled on over the last 5 years. Look at that. Second page again of the flyer. Oh, by the way, this is, again, May 29th of 2027. Here's all the excursions I have planned right here about what the cost is, what's it include, what we're going to see, and so forth. It's all right there. And so now you have a good idea again if you want to come back here later and look at it again. You know all my excursions are well priced compared to the ship excursion. And I'm going to tell you, they're tried and true. They're wonderful, wonderful excursions with wonderful, wonderful vendors. Look at that. And I think that's it. That is all she wrote here. So, I don't see any questions. Let's give it one more minute here to see if anyone is brave enough to ask a question here. In the meantime, let me see if I can turn this off, and we'll just go back to one of the beginning pictures here. There, just take in that drift snorkel location in Wahine. Look at that. Anyhow, I'm going to give it again, about another 30, 40 seconds here to see if there's anyone that's brave enough to ask a question. I don't see anything yet. No questions yet. Ah, again, remember the main purpose of these get-togethers once a month, my question and answer time, really is to answer questions for you. And again, yeah, I enjoy, of course, I put some pictures up there of one of my group cruises coming up and so forth. But the main reason really is to answer your questions. So be brave. And again, you can always email me beforehand because, on my YouTube here and everything else, or on my Facebook pages and things. But again, if you were to do a Facebook search under Cruising French Polynesia, you'd find my Facebook page for French Polynesia. And I also have one under cruisingfrenchpolynesia.com, my own web page. But every day I'm putting up new pictures. And so it's sort of a fun thing in the morning. You get to go and enjoy some nice, beautiful pictures and get some, updates and things like that. But, the fact is, there's a lot more than just once a month. You can get new pictures and new information from me every day by going to my Facebook page or my website. Again, let me see. Nah, I won't do it that way. Again, just do my Facebook search for Cruising in French Polynesia. You'll find my page. Or cruisingfrenchpolynesia.com, and you'll find my webpage, okay? And again, new stuff every day for you to enjoy. I don't see any questions yet. Let's check one more time and reboot here just to make sure. No questions. Bummer. Okay, well, I guess we're going to call it a day. Again, my next question answer time will be the first Saturday in August at 8 a.m. Pacific time right here on my YouTube channel. Remember, again, you can find my other pages to go enjoy and glean information from as well. But again, if you got a question, get a hold of me and I'll answer it at the next time we're doing a question and answer time. So we're going to call it a day. You all have a wonderful Independence Day if you're U.S. citizens. Independence Day. I know a lot of people call it 4th of July. I call it Independence Day. So, all right, we're going to go, and you guys all have a lovely rest of the day, and we're going to call it quits for the day. Bye-bye.